Hello, this is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com with yet another of the Conductors and Orchestras series on Deutsche Grammophon, this one dedicated to Neeme Järvi and the Gothenburg Symphony Orchestra. Now, we all know that Järvi did some great work there, right? And he did a lot of it for BIS, and then he remade a lot of it for Deutsche Grammophon. And some of it was good, and some of it wasn't good. So we have to see how it shakes out. This has 8 discs, and see if the selections are all up to snuff. You know, we talked about the Ozawa box. It began with sort of a French collection. Well, this begins with a Nordic collection, a disc called Aurora, Music of the Northern Lights. Of course, you've got the Alphen Midsummer Vigil. You've got Halvorson's, Entry March of the Boyars. Jarnfeldt's Berceuse, let's see, Sibelius's Valse Triste, who cares? The Dagviren Marcia, the March from his Serenade. Why not do the whole Serenade? I mean, it's not long and it's fabulous, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Lars-Erik Larsson, the Romance from the Pastoral Suite. Why not do the whole Pastoral Suite? It's not long. It's a beautiful work. I these little thingies, I don't get. Rautavaara. Oh my goodness, the Bog from Cantus Arcticus. Why not do all of Cantus Arcticus? That would be great, wouldn't it? It's an inventive, movement to throw in there by Rautavaara, but, you should do the whole work. I mean, this is, this little collection's starting to get on my nerves. Nielsen, the Overture to Masquerade. What has that got to do with Aurora or the Northern Lights? I don't know. But it's a good performance. It's a wonderful piece. And then, let's see. Oh, Lumbee. Lumbee, the Copenhagen Steam Railway Gallop. Yeah, moving right along. And let's see, Jarnefeldt's, what's this thing? Jarnefeldt's Preludium, and then Grieg's The Last Spring. I don't know. I mean, let's face it, it's all very pretty music. It's a nice collection. It's contrasted and varied and all that, but boy, talk about a jigsaw puzzle, a grab bag of little bits snatched from here and there and thrown in there. I don't know. Seems a little demented. Next, Disc 2, Berwald, Symphonies 3 and 4. These are very exciting performances. A little hasty in the Singulière, number 3, but is that a great piece? I mean, if you don't know it, listen to it. You're not going to believe it was written in the 1820s or 30s or something, like very shortly after the death of Beethoven, and you're talking about a completely different expressive world. It's wonderful, just wonderful. So those are nice to have. Then we get Grieg. We just did a big Griegathon, and this is part of the Griegathon. You've got the complete Peer Gynt, which is an excellent one. I mean, it's absolutely first rate. And then the Norwegian dances, the Lyric Suite, and the symphonic dances. A very, very nice program of Grieg orchestral and theatrical music, done to a turn. I mean, there's nothing not to like. Nielsen, Symphonies 5 and 6. Well, I have to say, I expected Järvi's Nielsen cycle to be something really exciting because he can be incredibly exciting, but these performances were not. They were just soggy and somewhat indifferent and not taut and they somewhat anemic sounding. They just weren't good. They just weren't. And if you're going to do Nielsen, I mean, just to put 5 and 6, I mean, 6th, Semplice, the weird 6th, when you could have done like 3 and 4. The whole thing makes no sense to me. I don't think that was a good choice, and it certainly doesn't represent Järvi at his best. It really doesn't. But then we come to Sibelius. First, a disc from his very, very good set of incidental music. You've got the Karelia Suite, Luanatar, the Andante Festivo, the Oceanides, King Christian Suite, and Finlandia. Now, of course, you have to have Finlandia and probably Karelia, but I think whoever put this together deserves some credit for not picking all of the most obvious things. I mean, Oceanides is wonderful. It's great to have Luanatar, and King Christian is a fabulous suite and never gets played. I mean, it never gets played. Why? Why don't people play it? It's so beautiful. It's shocking, And then we get Sibelius Symphonies 5 and 6. Now, here is an issue. That's disc 7, by the way. Järvi's first Sibelius cycle on BIS had its ups and its downs, right? And this fifth is really a big improvement over the old one on Bis. Not the one on Bis was terrible, but it was careless in some ways, and it was somewhat, I think, casually conceived, shall we say. It sounded like he just sort of went in and did it. Now it seems like he knows it, and he has a much better conception of it, and they play it very, very nicely. It's a very good performance. But just the opposite is true with the sixth, because the sixth on Bis benefited from the fact that he didn't have any ideas. I mean, seriously, he just went in there and played it, and it was with complete and total freshness and simplicity, and it may be my favorite version of the sixth. It's gorgeous. It just goes. It goes. And it's not too fast. It's not too slow. They play it well. It just sounds wonderful. It's a great Sibelius sixth. This new one, it's a snooze. Plain and simple. It's just dull. And that's unfortunate, because there were other things in this cycle that they could have used, like the third, which he always did well. His Bis third is wonderful. This third was wonderful. Why not put that one in? No one does the third or the sixth, so you might as well pick the better of the two, right? Anyway, the last disc, though, is a total winner. It's the Stenhammer Serenade and the Second Symphony, both of which he also did for Bis. But I think the Serenade on Bis is a little better, and it includes that extra movement, but it no matter. Järvi conducts this stuff absolutely beautifully, and it's wonderful to have it in a collection like this, not without the concertos. It was all in a box with the piano concertos and other stuff, and the first symphony that nobody cares about, which is actually quite beautiful in its way. But to have these two works, I mean, Blomstedt just released a disc that had these two works. This is the best of Stenhammer, and Järvi conducts it very, very well and very powerfully, and you can't go wrong. So where are we with this? We have the slightly weird Nordic collection. We have great Berwald, great Grieg, Nielsen, mostly very good Sibelius, but not the sixth, and sensational Stenhammer. That is a very, very good average. I mean, that's, say, 6.5 superb discs out of 8, or basically first-rate discs out of 8. I'm giving the Nordic music collection the benefit of the doubt, because as a collection it's very attractive to listen to, even if the selections are a little bit wonky. So if you're looking for a good 8-disc Järvi collection, it does represent him. It represents him very well, and I think he comes off as a very serious artist in a very favorable light. Give it some consideration. These aren't expensive, and there may be a lot of stuff here you haven't heard. So it's definitely worth considering while you can get it. Believe me, these things probably won't be out for very long. So thank you very much. Keep on listening. And if you enjoyed this little chat, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.